hello. Coming to you again on this magnificent, wonderful day.
And
Coming to you again with the podcast Gas. Got my co-host, my partner, my brother, Mr. Aaron, new type of money wheel.
what's happening?
We got a wonderful, nice topic coming for you today.
Oh yeah,
It's something that we all can do and it's something that we all can relate to.
oh yeah.
And the topic is controlling or your own narrative or writing your own story.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, I'm gonna give you the flow and let you come and expound on what that means to you, Mister New Type of Money.
I mean, it's self-explanatory, really. I think it's self-explanatory, but sometimes it's like a lot of things easier said than done. I've always been a person that is very particular about controlling my own narrative, controlling um if I can, in a sense, how people perceive me. And then I got to a certain age where I realized I can't control how nobody looks at me, but I can control, and I'm in full control of what I show, um, when I show, how I respond, if I respond at all. I'm in control of all that, and it just took me years to. Not saying that I got it now, but even now, sometimes I struggle with uh what side of the world am I going to show today? Sometimes I struggle with, should I show this person this side of me? Can they handle this side of me? You know what I mean? But again, I'm in full control of that. You know, what I allow people to see. But I just in life and even in my life before I started um, finding the importance in controlling my narrative, I kind of allow others to, um, I won't say control, but define my narrative. You know,
Okay.
you grow up and your parents say this or they want you to be this or that, and you just go along with it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna be this, and now you got this in your head, and not knowing that subconsciously, mama been saying that since you was 3 years old. So now you don't grow up and you don't really want to be that. You just done heard it so much that
Feel like you're obligated to be
you
that.
you you either obligated to be it, or maybe if you didn't even hear it, maybe it's like sometimes you feel like people feel like if for, for example, in college. I went to college for what I wanted to go to college for. But I saw a lot of people while I was in college for things that they didn't even want to be there for. They just in it because they parents paying for it. They parents say this what you gonna do, or you know, to help run the family business, or to
I got
and
you.
I'm not knocking it on certain levels. I'm not knocking it because we need external influences or pushes in certain directions if it's into our purpose. But a lot of times people are not seeking God for us for our purpose. They're going off what they think we
Mm-hmm.
should do. You know what I mean? It's like if you could say, Brother Jordan, you need to cut you a record. Everybody that can sing, voice isn't made for a record.
Mm-hmm.
Or they voice may be made for a record, but then they can't perform, so you can't even take them on tour. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
got you.
people always want to say what they think you is or not good at. You know what I mean? Like I played baseball, football, and basketball. I in my head I thought I was good at all of it, but some people didn't think I was that good at baseball. Some people didn't think I was that good at football. You know what I mean? Now basketball, I just had undeniable talent, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure some folks that probably like, oh, based on their perception, based on their perspective. You know what I mean? Of whatever that is. Like,
I got you. And even with that being said, it's the same thing with, like you say, a lot of times people will come in and say, I think you good at this, but is it for the benefit of yourself? Is it for the benefit of God, or is it for the benefit of them? Because if I'm at the church, or if I'm at a job and I need a position filled, and you're better at that position than the person that's there doing it, or even maybe you do it good enough to just get me by.
right.
So now I'm gonna put in your head that you is this is your gift. You need to be here,
Right.
just to make me satisfied, or just to feel that need that I have.
Right.
But is that really what I'm supposed to be doing?
And then on that note, sometimes people will have you in all positions of field, but because all these people are doing their duty and obligation and position, it makes them look good.
Mm-hmm. And that may not even be what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
But just because you feel that position and then you fit in that position, they make it feel like that's where you're supposed to be.
So you don't allow somebody else to create and define your narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love to say we as believers love to do what we quote unquote think is the work of the Lord. And a lot of time we forget about the Lord of the works. We doing all this work. I gotta go to the church and do this. I gotta run over here and do this. I gotta make sure the pastor got this. I gotta, I'm the armor bearer. I gotta do it. What are we really doing this for?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong for doing for the church and for the pastor and for this or that, but I'm just saying, like, we gotta make sure our priorities are together, because man, I done seen people go their whole life, and I ain't knocking, let me pause, because some people that may have the gifts or helps or this or that may be their thing to help push somebody else's vision their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't talking about vision. We talking about narrative here. Sometimes you don't want to push nobody's vision or be part of anything, I feel like, and lose yourself and truly who you are, and maybe never got to, but was supposed to become in God, because they told you or convinced you that God wanted you to do that.
And it also says your gift will make room. Now, what happened when I'm not operating in my gift? So now who am I making room for? Really, I'm making room for the enemy.
Right.
Because I'm doing this to make you happy, to feel this position, but I'm not happy.
Right.
So now I'm making room for the enemy to come in and play with my mind, to play with my heart, to play with my, because even though I'm doing this, in the back of my mind, I don't want to do it.
Right.
Even though it's making everybody else happy that I'm doing it, in the back of my mind, I don't want to do it. So now it causes me to get in a place of resentment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this because y'all want me to. I'm doing this because it's needed. I'm doing this because of how I make you feel.
Right.
But what about how I feel? So even though I'm good at it, am I my best version at doing it?
That's good. That's good.
Because what happened when we lose ourselves in doing what somebody else wants us to do?
Right.
What happened when we lose ourselves in somebody else's gift? What happened when we lose ourselves in somebody else's dream? What happened when we lose ourselves in the midst of somebody else's story?
We do that plenty times just by simply comparing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, that kind of weaves in with controlling. Sometimes while trying to control our narrative, if we don't watch it, if we get too caught up in the external world and what this person doing that may be in the same, field of work or whatever we in, and they may look like they prospering or doing a little better. So now we think we got to switch up what we doing and do it how they doing it, but that may not be the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's working for them.
Yep.
They in their season, they in their purpose right now.
Yep.
Supposedly, they may not even be. Yep. But it's working. It looks effective. So what you got to do, what we got to do, we got to stop focusing on the next person, and even when because honestly, I feel like when that comparison stuff comes, that's showing us that it's a little work that we need to do first of all. Because first of all, that shouldn't even really be there. Yeah. It shouldn't be no, oh, look at them, I supposed to be where they, like, no. You rap where you supposed to be. They rap where they supposed to be. Whether they stepped on people and or did wrong to get, they rap where they supposed to be. Because if they did wrong, theirs coming to them. And if they did right,
it's coming through.
You know what I mean? So if you doing right in your lane, in your purpose, in your kingdom now. Mm-hmm. That's what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. That what we stay on. Your own soul and working out your own soul and salvation. This ain't about, you got to create your own little situation with God.
Yeah, because he said he wished above all that our soul prosper.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say nothing about the things, because if my soul prosper to the point to where my mind is content regardless of where I am, then that's better than anything. Because you got some people, their finances prosper, but now their mind can't take it. You got some people that they household prosper, or that woman that they wanted is there now, that man they wanted, but now they still have no peace in their mind. But now, if I can get my soul to prosper to the point to where regardless of what state I'm in, I'm still happy. Regardless of what state I'm in, I'm still content. I can be in the middle of a palace, or I can be in the behind up on the bridge. But my mind has me somewhere where I need to be, and that's close to God.
That's it.
See, I had the same conversation then. It's ironic that a lot of times we lose ourselves in church by trying to make the pastor happy, or by trying to be in church just to be in a number. But we most of the time lose focus on, what about making God happy?
Right.
What about being in that right place with God? What does it matter if you make it to church on time?
Right.
If you ain't loving people like you're supposed to.
Right.
What does it matter if I'm being on my job, whatever it is in church, when I'm doing it with hatred, or when I'm doing it with judgment?
Right.
You a usher, somebody walk in, just because they walk in not looking the way you feel like they should look. Now you're going to toot your nose up at them. You're going, hey, you need to go out of here. Really?
Right.
He said, come as you are. It didn't say come as you are unless. It didn't say come as you are except. It said come as you are, which means if you smelling like liquor, if you drunk, if you high, if you got on a miniskirt, days of do. He said come as you are. If somebody's sick, they go to the hospital, right? They soul sick. Right now, if you get hurt, they don't care about what you got on. They trying to get you to the emergency room to get you help. Whether you naked, off clothed, they just want to help you.
Right.
We should be the same way in the church. But we can't. We too busy trying to judge what it look like instead of what it is. What happened to taking somebody just like they is instead of taking somebody? I mean, if we go into church to deal with the people that look just like us, then what are we going to church for? If we go into, for instance, if the doctors and the nurses are going to the hospital just to see about the folks that's working there, what are they there for? And that's the way the church has seemed like it made it seem like, if you want what I have, come to me.
Right. Listen, that's the narrative that the church has.
That's the narrative that the church has.
But guess what? I talk about it in my book, and I love the Bible, because when you read it, I look at Christ and I see myself so much, not comparing myself, people, but I see myself so much because I see his frustration with the quote unquote body. It's like, man, y'all ain't, y'all, come on, man. Y'all in here playing games, man. Like, I'm really out there where it going down at.
Yeah.
And these folk know y'all kept out here. These folk know y'all in here with masks on. These folk know y'all flexing. These folk know y'all taking people money.
Yeah.
Y'all doing what y'all do behind closed door, but then y'all come out and want to judge everybody else. It's the same name today. It's the same. Can somebody tell me after thousands of years why hasn't the narrative of the body changed?
And it seems like most time the people that's trying to do it the way the Bible say do it, and not the way the church or man say do it.
Them the people
now
that
they exile you and wanna
exactly.
crucify you like they did Jesus.
So it's like
if you notice, the folks that crucified Jesus was the church people, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, it wasn't the people in the street.
That's crazy.
And they tried to convince the people in the street that Jesus wasn't who he said he was.
Right, but
they
knew.
Yeah, instead of convincing the people in the street that he is who he said he is.
They knew. But how did they know? Because he was amongst them.
Yeah. They knew more about him than the people who supposed to know him knew.
Which brings a good question. And not even a question. It's just, because I don't want to, this is just what my crazy brain think. I kind of probably would have more likely rather me get the narrative from these people that was in the streets walking with him than the ones that they chose to do. Because I think they would have had a different story. They probably would have had a different narrative than, these people that were sat down historically. Now, we talking historical at the Council of Nicaea, and said, okay, we're going to put this in there. We ain't going to put this in there. We ain't going to put this in there. Like, my brain just thinking everywhere. Like I talk about my book, one of the greatest, or what they say, the greatest man to ever live, Yeshua Christ, Jesus Christ. He didn't even
write his own story.
He didn't even have a chance to create his own narrative. Or did he? But from what I know, from what we know from the book that we read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, these people, with some of them weren't even disciples, you know what I mean? Like Luke, and that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, like, there's no book of Jesus, like where he wrote the book, like first person point of view.
Well, and the reason why I believe that to be so is because it wouldn't have been enough pages. And the reason why I say that, because to me, he might have been a healer. But what about that person that's never been sick? To that person, he might have been a father because they never had a father. To this next person, he might have been. So he didn't come to be who he wanted to be. He came to be what he needed to be for everybody that he
That's good.
made a impact to.
I like that.
Just like right now, I can go get 10 people off the street that know me. Because Jesus even asked a question, who do they say I am?
Yeah.
And then he began to ask them, who do you say I am?
Mm-hmm.
And each person had a different story.
Right.
So out of just those people he asked, out of just the 12 disciples, if each one would have written a book, they'd have a different story. Because he had been different things to those people.
Right.
But now Jesus impacted several people.
Right.
But he didn't care in his mind who he was to himself.
Right.
Or to God. He wanted to know what the people thought. Because he already knew who he was. He don't have to write a book about who he is.
Right.
I know who I am.
Right.
And I can't define that on pages because I'm so many things.
Right.
Just like right now, you can't define on pages. Because today you might be this person, but tomorrow you might be somebody else.
Exactly.
Depending on where you need it, depending on where your gift is. Today you might can evangelize. Tomorrow you might can heal.
Right.
The next day you might prophesy to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's too many things to put you. See, that's the same way we try to do. We want to put God in the box.
Right.
God just say, tell him I am who I am.
Right.
I am what I am.
Right.
I am that I am.
And which brings me to a point. We talking about creating a narrative, but baby, that's the issue. We need to do some on, like, it's the, like, what you saying, like, that makes the titles. You know what I mean? Like, why does my title matter? Why does it matter? Doesn't it matter more what I'm doing than what I say I am,
Mhm.
or what I say I came to do this and that. Like I'm gonna just do what I came to do, and if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. You know.
But even with the significances, a lot of things are highlighted in the Bible. The main significances of Jesus, even when John told it and all these different people told it, Matthew told it. But now, when it go to that, how many times did you ever hear Jesus say who he was? Everybody around him, some call him Jesus, some call him the Christ, some call him Lion of the tribe of Judah, some call him Beautiful Rose of Sharon, some call him Savior, some call him Master, some call him. But what did Jesus call himself? Is that in the Bible? What does he call himself?
A few things.
What's that?
He said, I am the way, the truth, the light. He said, I am a lot of times. He said a lot, you know what I mean? But even in that, I think that was just, even when he said who he was, he wasn't saying it was still.
He was saying who God told him he was.
That's what I'm saying. He was saying, like, like you say, this is who I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that may change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. Yeah. So if you need the way at the time, you need to go the way that I went. Mm-hmm. If you need life at the time, you need to look at my life. Mm-hmm. If you need truth, you need to look at my truth. You know what I mean? It's so.
But even with that, one day he turned water into wine. Another day he was walking on the water.
Right.
One day he spit on the ground and rolled in the mud and put it on the man's eye. The next day he told the man to go wash in the Jordan.
Right.
He never did anything the same exact way because he didn't want to be put in the box.
Right.
He didn't want folks to go start in the ministry saying, well, Jesus spit on the ground and started healing folks, so I'm going to have a spit ministry.
Yeah.
Jesus started walking on water, so I'm going to walk on water ministry. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? That about how all these different organizations got started.
That's it.
He done took his narrative and put it on him, put a twist to it, and now you got all these different religions and beliefs. Same religion, different beliefs.
Yeah. Because of the people mind. Everybody wants something new. Mm. Everybody wants something different. Mm. Why we got to feel like we the first person to come up with something? Or we the first one to do it this way? Why not? What's wrong with the way he did? What's wrong with doing what we got to do to win the loss? Mm. Cut and dry. If I got to go sit behind the liquor store with you for some days, if I got to go sit in the crack house with you for some days, if I got to go to the beach with you for a couple of days, if I got to go wherever you are, just to get you to where I am or where I'm trying to go.
Right.
Because sometimes I may not be where I need to be.
Right.
But I know where I'm heading. And then I have a comforter and I also someone that can convict me when I do step outside the line. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that's the difference between a lot of people. They'll do it with no conviction.
No conviction, yeah.
But then the people that are really seeking him, he know we're not perfect. He know we'll never be perfect until we get to his glory. But he know that if we get it wrong, he'll convict us enough to get it back right.
Right.
That's why he tells us to repent. Because we always say, well, if it was me, but you don't know until it's you.
Yeah.
If it had been me, I'd have done it this way.
Yeah, you don't know. Because
you don't know what temperament you may be in when it comes to you.
At that moment.
Yeah. Now, if I'm happy right now, you come cuss me out, I might be good. But what happened when I just lost my mom, I just lost my child, my life just got cut off.
Yeah.
And then you come cuss me out. I can't tell you're going to get the same response.
Right.
So it depends on what pressure you're already toting, what pressure you're already trying to carry before somebody come put more gas on the fire. Now, if I ain't gonna have a fire burning, it's easy for me. I can go throw gas on the ground right now. If ain't nothing burning, then it ain't gonna do nothing. But now, when the fire's already burning, you throw gas on, what's gonna happen? Most time it's gonna flame up.
Right.
And that's the way a lot of people do. So we don't never know until we realize how much our fire is burning, or if our fire is even burning. See, if we're gonna have fire, we need to have fire for Jesus, fire for God.
Right.
But we want to have fire on everything else. We want to have fire on that car you got. I want to be fired up about trying to get one of them. We want to have fire on prosperity. I want to be fired up by getting this money. But what happened about being fired up by getting a life, saving a soul, helping a homeless person? We don't get fired up by that stuff because that's too much work.
Mm.
We don't see instant results.
Right. And that's what we used to, instant gratification.
That's why we like the internet so much.
Yeah.
Instant. I can get it out right now all over the world.
Right.
Instead of taking time out. You know, people always want to tell you, pray for. Somebody told me the other day, hey, we need you to pray for such and such and such. I said, well, I'm going to go over there to their house to pray for her. Well, now we can't do that because she don't want prayer. Well, I ain't finna pray for her.
Said she don't want
God said he ain't going to force himself. Why I'm going to go over there and try?
shit.
She said she don't want no prayer. But you want me to pray for her. Not around. You want me to pray for her, go in my room and get all that? No, I'm not. I said when she want prayer, let me know. Until then, I ain't going to bother with her. If God won't force himself, why I'm trying to force myself?
Right.
And I'm just being honest. We got this thing so caught up. I mean, how many times, like we said, we following Jesus, the example. How many times did Jesus pray for folks all over the world and down? He went where they was.
Yeah. Yeah.
They came to him. He went to them. And when the man came to him about his daughter had died, he told Jesus to pray where he was. Jesus said, no, I'm coming. And the girl died and everything, but he still got there and did what he said to do. Mm-hmm. When the man had a soldier, he asked Jesus, just speak the word, and you're a man of authority. But we want to, I don't know, I don't get it. It's cut and dry right there in the word.
Yeah.
And then if you get a relationship with him, he'll make it even plain.
Right.
But we want to sit there and listen to what somebody say and try to bring our own doctrine out. Sometimes we won't even read it for ourselves. We heard one scripture and we run with it, not getting the total understanding of the whole passage.
Right.
Or the whole book or the whole chapter.
Yeah.
We'll take one scripture.
You read line upon line, precept upon precept.
Yeah.
Making it all make sense.
Yep. Yep.
Creating your own narrative.
Creating your own narrative. Stop letting people write your story and producing your story.
Because, we didn't get here, but a lot of people, certain parents or maybe even peers or kids, planted a seed in a person's head when they was young. A person may have wanted to do this or do that, or it may have been in a person. They burning desire, they purpose to do this, and then somebody else said, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Who else in Fitzgerald, Oscilla that done made it doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start thinking like, nobody? And it's like, you believe that, and now you done allowed them to create your
narrative.
Now you wake up and you 20, 30 years old, and now you may jump in it, but now it's like, dang, I should have been did this. But we allow other people fear, other people doubt, our own fears, our own doubts, the lack of faith. And just honestly, with most of us, with most things, it be that feeling of feeling alone. Because I know for sure God done gave some people some cool stuff to do, but it's because like think about like growing up, I wanted I love the stars and stuff, bro. I wanted to be an astronaut or something. Mm-hmm. But I look around and in the neighborhood, I ain't see nobody doing that. I ain't know how to even how.
Yeah, where did you start from?
How?
There's no astronauts was in 1,000-mile radius that we know.
That little boy in school, that my little partner, that he got a little trouble at home, so he come in and beat up these kids at the school, and he don't beat me up because we cool. I'm cool with him, but he probably could have been the next Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody could have, you see what I'm saying? Like, so
they told him to stop fighting. Instead of telling him to stop fighting, they told him to start fighting in the ring or fight the different way. Right. Start fighting for God. Start fighting for your dreams.
Right.
Instead of fighting against people that don't believe in you or making fun of how you look or how you dress or how you act. But we yet and still we let we need to learn how to take what's in a person and develop it instead of what's in a person just because we feel like that ain't what's right. Kill it.
Yeah. Kill it, knock it down, or if it's something that we ain't never did or we ain't never seen or we just feel is far fetched, then But yeah, man, our time up today.
Always. It always runs out on something. But I'm gonna say this right here and I'm gonna let it go. Even when I was growing up, I used to want to be a model and an actor and
No.
and a singer.
Oh yeah.
And then after I let people crush my dream, I forgot about it and started focusing on other things.
Right.
And it's ironic how God turned around and put that same ambition and dream in my son. But now, thank God for somebody having a opposite approach because I'm behind him 100%.
Right.
I believe in him more than he believes in himself because I know it can be done.
Right.
And I always tell my cousins, somebody in this family got to be great.
That's it.
So I'm gonna push behind the ones that's trying to be great instead of tearing down the ones telling them you can't be great because I wasn't great. Why not believe in somebody else's dream?
Wow.
Just because I didn't get to my dream in the time and I thought I should, why should I tell somebody else's dream now? Or why can't I be a stepping stool or a ladder for him to get close to his dream? And even if he only makes it halfway, the next person, his son, his grandson, may make it all the way. We keep climbing until we get to the top.
Right.
We don't take the ladder down just because we didn't make it though. But as always, like we say, we done ran out of time. We're going to ask that you come on in and leave us some comments, leave us feedback, share, subscribe. New type of money. Want to tell you about his book he got. He's supposed to be promoting it, trying to get y'all to buy.
He said he's supposed to be promoting. Hey, this is live, uncut, raw, man. Y'all, hey man, go get the book, True Riches. It's on Amazon, or you can get a physical copy. Hit me up in the DM on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check me out. Check it out.
And we also got shirts and stuff coming out. They coming out. Gas. Get your gas today. Or should I ask where you getting your gas from? But until next time, we out.